Most people live their entire lives in a state of biological bliss, unaware that inside their chest, a silent construction project is underway. They think of heart disease as lightning strikes something that happens suddenly at the age of 60s or 70s, but they are wrong. Heart disease is not an event, it's a process, it's a slow, methodical accumulation of cellular debris that begins decades before the first symptom ever appears. What if I told you that your arteries are not just pipes, they are living, breathing organs? They are lined with a delicate single-cell layer called the endothelium. This layer is the inner skin of your vascular system. When this skin is healthy, it is as slick as Teflon. Nothing sticks to it. But when you subject that skin to the modern metabolic siege, sugar, stress, and industrial oils, it becomes like Velcro. And today, we are moving past the avoid fat means of the 1970s. We are going to perform a biological investigation into the single most powerful meal ever, designed to dismantle arterial plaque. We aren't just talking about eating healthy, but actually we are talking about deploying a tactical arterial antidote to scrub the internal rust from your system. By the end of this video, you completely understand the chemistry of your heart better than 90% of the population. Before we build the meal, we just understand the enemy. If you think plaque is just a glob of greasy cholesterol, you've been misled. If plaque were just fat, it would be soft. But surgeons will tell you that advanced plaque is often as hard as concrete. And here's why. According to the Band-Aid theory, cholesterol is not the criminal, it's the first responder. When your artery wall gets a microscopic tear from high blood pressure or sugar spikes, your liver sends LDL cholesterol to that site. It's trying to patch the wound. It's a biological bandage actually. The calcium trap. The real danger starts when your body can't regulate minerals. In a state of inflammation, your body begins to dump calcium into that cholesterol bandage. This is called intimal calcification. And suddenly, that soft bandage tears into the hard and brittle shell. And the microbial biofilm, the hidden resident. This is breakthrough discovery actually. Recent pathology shows that arterial plaque often contain microbial biofilms. These are colonies of bacteria, often originating from the mouth or your gut, that build towers inside your arteries. They use the calcium as armor to hide from your white blood cells. You don't just have a clog actually, you have to reverse this. We don't just need a diet, we need a deconstruction crew. We need to dissolve the calcium, break the biofilms, and heal the inner skin. Let's begin the reconstruction together. The centerpiece of our meal is wild-caught salmon. Most people eat for calories, but we are eating salmon for membrane fluidity. Every cell in your body is surrounded by a lipid layer, a wall made of fat. If you eat yellow oils like soybeans, corn, canola, your cell walls become stiff and prone to cracking under pressure. This is rusting off your body. When you ingest the high-dose EPA and DHA found in white salmon, you are replacing corroded fats with high-performance fats. And the anti-inflammatory pulse are also important. Omega-3s produce resolvings. As the name suggests, these molecules resolve inflammation. They tell your immune system to stop attacking your artery walls. And here is the power of nitric oxide. Salmon provides the raw materials for your endothelium to produce nitric oxide. This is the gas that tells your arteries to dilate. When your arteries can't relax, your blood pressure drops, and the tearing of the artery walls stops immediately. And let me give you a quick note. It must be wild-caught salmon, because farmed salmon is often fed corn and soy, meaning it contains the very omega-6 inflammatory fats we are trying to escape. Now, we add the most misunderstood superfood in history, sauerkraut. If I could only give you one tool to fight arterial calcification, it would be vitamin K2. Think of vitamin D as the Uber driver that picks up calcium from your gut and puts it in your blood. But vitamin D doesn't know where to go. Without a navigator, that calcium wanders into your heart, your kidneys, and your brain. Vitamin K2 is the navigator. It activates a protein called matrix GLA, which literally scoops the calcium out of your soft tissues, your arteries, and locks it into your heart tissues, your bones and teeth. The gut-heart axis. Sauerkraut is a living food. It contains billions of lactobacillus bacteria. These microbes produce a chemical signal that travels through the vagus nerve to your heart, telling your system to lower its defensive posture. By healing your gut with fermented cabbage, you're effectively unpoisoning your blood. This prevents the leakage of bacteria that creates the biofilms we discussed earlier. You're actually cutting off the enemy's supply line. Our base is a massive bit of arugula, and most people use spinach or iceberg lettuce. They are actually missing the point. Arugula is the cruciferous vegetable, meaning it contains sulforaphane and diindolylmethane. These compounds are like biological detergents for your liver. They help your liver process the spent cholesterol and toxins that would otherwise circulate and damage your heart. The potassium pressure valve also is important. Arugula is incredibly dense in potassium. In the modern diet, we are drawing in sodium, which holds water and raises pressure. And also, in modern diet, we are starving for that potassium. When you eat a large arugula salad, you're activating the sodium-potassium pump in every single cell. This pumps the excess fluid out of your artery walls and reducing the stretch and tension that causes arterial scarring. The nitrate effects are also important. Natural nitrates in arugula are converted into nitric oxide in your mouth. This creates an immediate dilation effect. Within 30 minutes of eating this salad, your arteries are physically wider and more flexible and more resilient to the hammering of your heartbeat. Now let us sprinkle on sunflower seeds. And here's why. Actually, because of the vitamin E complex. Imagine your LDL cholesterol is a delivery truck carrying supplies to your body. On its own, the truck is harmless. But if that truck catches fire, it becomes a rolling hazard. In biology, this fire is called oxidation. When LDL cholesterol becomes oxidized, it turns rancid. This oxidized fat is what actually irritates the artery walls and triggers the formation of plaque. And vitamin E is the fire extinguisher. It sits actually on the surface of your cholesterol particles and prevents them from igniting. Sunflower seeds are one of the nature's most concentrated sources of alpha tocopherol, which is vitamin E. By adding them to this meal, you are effectively fireproofing your blood. You're ensuring that even if your cholesterol is high, it isn't dangerous. We dress this meal with extra virgin olive oil, apple cider vinegar, and crushed garlic. This is the chemical sealant phase of our reconstruction. Extra virgin olive oil. This oil contains compound called olecanthal, which acts exactly like a natural form of ibuprofen. It shuts off the inflammatory enzymes that cause your arteries to swell. It is balm for your internal lining. Apple cider vinegar. Vinegar increases the insulin sensitivity. By taking vinegar with your meal, you prevent the sugar spike that would normally act like liquid sandpaper on your arteries. You are keeping the blood smooth rather than gritty. Garlic also is so much important. The biofilm dissolver. We return to the biofilms now. Garlic contains allicin, a sulfur compound that is clinically proven to reduce the thickness of platelets. It makes your blood slippery, and most importantly, it interferes with the curium sensing of bacteria. It prevents the microbes in your plaque from talking to each other and building more armor. And finally, we add a few shavings of authentic aged Parmesan. Cheese clogs your arteries. In a clinical setting, we currently know this is a half truth. Processed plastic cheese is a disaster, but aged grass-fed cheese is a biological miracle for your heart. Aged Parmesan is one of the highest food sources of vitamin K2, also MK4 and MK7. It works in perfect biological resonance with the sauerkraut. While the sauerkraut provides the probiotics, the Parmesan provides the concentrated calcium clearing power. It ensures that the calcium from your meals and the calcium already sitting in your arteries is signaled to move back into the skeletal system. You're literally decalcifying your heart while you eat. When you combine these 7 elements, salmon, sauerkraut, arugula, sunflower seeds, olive oil, vinegar and garlic, and Parmesan, you aren't just having lunch. You are launching a coordinated biological strike. Within 1 hour, your nitric oxide levels rise and your arteries relax. Within 3 hours, the vitamin E and olecanthal begin to cold inflammation in your blood. Within 6 hours, the vitamin K2 begins the process of mineral signaling, directing calcium away from your heart. And within 12 hours, your gut microbiome begins to shift, starving the sugar box and filling the heart box. Honestly, heart disease is a choice of architecture. You are either building a fortress of plaque or you are building a system of flow. Most people are passengers in their own bodies, waiting for a doctor to tell them they are broken. I'm telling you that the tools for repair are already in your kitchen. So here's the medical investigator's challenge for you. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to test me. For the next 7 days, I want you to make this arterial antidote meal as your primary lunch. Notice the change in your blood pressure. Notice the clarity in your brain as your blood flow improves. And notice how the heaviness in your chest or the swelling in your ankles begins to dissipate. Biological reconstruction doesn't require a miracle. It requires consistency. If you're ready to stop managing disease and start reversing it, I want you to type the word flow in the comments below. If this deep video into the pathology of plate helped you, hit the like button and subscribe to the Dr. Max YouTube channel. And let me tell you this, your heart is the engine of your life. Don't let it rust from the inside out. I'm Dr. Max and your health is in your hands. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.